Whilst waiting for the release of Path of Exile 2 0.5's new league, I decided to work on the one thing that I've always struggled with: speed. How long have I been streaming? Is it like an hour, 2 hours and still in Clearfowl? Yeah, I really need to not talk. Is this Stalathon before 0.5? It is. Pinion. Lately, speedrunning the campaign seems to be the thing in the Path of Exile 2 community.
Will take a bunch of ice beams, but is able to survive 286 HP, 37 ES. Apparently the key amount that you need to survive taking those ice beams. Can someone type Monka S in the chat on my behalf? What a close call that was. Beautiful positioning there from Miso Xshiro. An aggressive flask usage to keep him alive. A second poetry phase.
And then there's me.
Wait a minute, because there's going to be... Oh, yeah, there we go. Can you see it now? Oh, hide it again. Yeah, exactly.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Oh. That was close. I'm not doing much damage to her, so that's not good. What's wrong? What do you mean not yet? Why? No, Romeo, babe. No! This is terrible! My worst nightmare! There's like 5 of them! Let me through! Oh my god, it's a dead end every way! Get me out of here! Oh dear. Sorry guys, I apologize. I'm not very good at reading and doing this. And because we're speedrunning. So speedrunning, okay? Then that's why I'm being quiet. Yeah, I know I've got to learn to talk and play, but look, baby steps, people, okay? Oh, as soon as I try talking, you see what happens? No. Ah, that was so painful. So, oh god, so right.
I already knew I was slow, painfully slow. So I figured a good way to improve would be to put myself under pressure and attempt to speedrun Act 1. What followed was a mixture of suffering, panic, and bad decisions, but I eventually cut my time down by half. Here's what I learned. Speedrunning can be seen as a sort of game within the game. It can be addictive and challenging in a whole different way than the campaign. Another viewer highlighted this to me, and I can see how many would find this fun. Many who hate completing the campaign over and over found fun to be had by trying their hand at speedrunning. Speedrunning highlights the game from a whole new perspective, so you tend to see things that you might otherwise overlook. Suddenly, there's a level of excitement in defeating the Rust King as an example. Can you beat your best time? Did you manage to kite him? All of these other elements come into play that you may not have otherwise paid attention towards. Must remember not to underlevel. Speedrunning also highlights some rather useful stuff. Speedrunning has taught me so much in such little time. For example, since speedrunning, I've changed my settings to auto-equip items, I've turned off tutorials, and I've stopped scrolling through quests, and I've started using checkpoints. Attempting to speedrun makes you look at your experience and think about where you can become more efficient. After attempting speedrunning, I actually went back to many of my old ways. I know. But there are things that I took on board and have now become ingrained into my normal playstyle. As an example, not having the tutorials on, using checkpoints as becoming more autopilot and muscle memory. For instance, I always use auto-equip and I have no idea how I didn't drive myself crazy equipping all of my items for the last 3 leagues. If I'm simply running through campaign, I will no longer cycle through quest lines unnecessarily, and now I can pick and choose certain areas depending on whether I need the item from the area or not. From you that have tried speedrunning, what's your golden nugget bit of info that you've learned from speedrunning? Let me know in the comments. Speedrunning will test you. So speedrunning taught me that I'm too intense for speedrunning. I found that the harder I tried to get my campaign time down, the angrier and more frustrated I got. At a certain point, you just have to cut your losses and be content with what you have. I found that speedrunning may give you insight into areas that you can improve, that would benefit you outside the game, learning to be comfortable with imperfect, or ways to practice managing your emotions. I find competitive games great for providing a safe place to practice these aspects. In the past, I've spoken about games such as League of Legends or Dota, providing great environments for these aspects. I believe speedrunning in Path of Exile 2 leans into that domain too. As an example, I am slow in many tasks. I tend to get distracted, talk, daydream, and all sorts of other things, which affects my promptness in many areas of my life. Practicing and improving this aspect in a video game, a place where a lot of real-world pressures don't exist, but perceived pressures do. It's a great place for exploring this part of me. There's a lot of publicity about how games are bad, but there can be benefits from video games, and I don't believe the positives are spoken about enough. What do you think? Can video games be positive? And in particular, Path of Exile 2. Have you learned anything that could be transferred from a video game into the real world? Oh no, not good.
As swift as death.
I can't do it. No. Okay, so level 12 I don't think is viable. I think I need to be a higher level. So let's go get a level, because I don't think I'm going to do it. The build you choose will have a huge impact on speed. And it doesn't necessarily mean a speedy build is the answer. For instance, playing a ranger might mean that you are faster on paper, but if you die repeatedly through campaign, it will mean that in the long run, you might be slower than if you'd picked, say, a warrior. It's all about finding your smooth class through the campaign. For me, that was warrior. I tried monk, witch, sork, but one way or another I would die repeatedly, which would increase my overall time because I would have to spend time doing certain parts over and over again. Even though warrior is known for being a slower, more methodical class, it was speedier for me because I died less and felt more robust through Act 1. What about you? What's your go-to class for a smooth Act 1 run? Something that I've learned from speedrunning was that understanding the timing of upgrading can have massive effects. I could spend eons of time looking at vendor sales in my stash or on trade and discussing ideas for what I could do with my build or how I could upgrade it. Upgrading too much will affect how long you take, but in hindsight, not upgrading enough will affect how effective you can be in certain zones. Many speedrunners run the campaign over and over again with one particular character, one particular build, so they know exactly what items to take and when. There's no thinking. The thinking was done the previous 20 times they ran the campaign with that base class. This leads quite nicely onto the next point, which is that there are other areas to focus on that will massively improve your speed. One day, Kostek, I won't play with a controller, but that's not today, okay? One of the main takeaways for me was learning that not all mobs in campaign need to be slain, and that in actual fact, very little do. It is not much dissimilar to wave management in League of Legends. You take what you need to level up and you leave the rest or it goes to another character. Magic and rare mobs are favoured because they provide more XP or better loot. Certain bosses are done for passive points and others are left should you not need the support gem, as an example. Another area of significant time saving is learning how to maneuver and dash through zones without getting swarmed by mobs, stumbling, or dying. This is so much harder than it seems at face value, but learning how to use sprint well can save you heaps of time. And to me, like, the more I do this, the more it's like seeming to me that, I don't know, like, what's the point in not killing mobs? If you're not very good at it, there's no point not killing mobs because you're just going to end up dying loads and taking twice as long anyway because you keep dying. Another area for consideration includes using a keyboard and mouse instead of a controller. Hotkeys and multitasking are almost impossible with a controller. Many speed runs miss parts. Speedrunners often have one goal: to get to the end game ASAP. That often means they will sacrifice certain spirit gems, items, or non-essential buffs to reach their goal. They most definitely do not care one iota about the lore, storyline, and narration when speedrunning. What a phenomenal tip. Thank you so much. It was so much easier with Bone Storm. This leads us to ask ourselves, what's your goal with the game? Do you want to participate in trade and earn the most divs you possibly can? Do you want to take in the story? Do you want to make your own build? Do you want to break builds? Or do you have another goal entirely? What parts of the game do you enjoy? Because speed doesn't necessarily mean fun. For some, it might, but not for everyone. For me, there is a balance where speed and fun meet, but I'm likely to prioritise other things above speed, such as chatting to viewers, learning the lore, taking part in narration, sorting through my inventory, spending an hour trying to identify what to buy from trade. I want to keep up with the economy. I think it's about balance for me. I do want to keep up. I do want to play trade, and I want to keep up with the average, shall we say. But I'm not willing to sacrifice certain things. So that's what I learned when attempting to speedrun in Path of Exile 2. Hopefully it's given you some things to think about. Have you tried speedrunning in Path of Exile 2? Or are you going to after watching the video? If you haven't tried speedrunning yet, did you find anything of value from watching the video? And if you have done speedrunning, what did you learn from it? Do let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. How's the learning curve going? It was going well until I started trying to learn how to speedrun. I kind of want to play Monk. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that. I know that it's not the greatest. I don't think that's the problem, though. There's other problems that I have, regardless of what class I'm starting. Like understanding how to manage big packs of mobs. Oh, what's my fastest time? 2.5 hours, Slim. I'm like terrible. That's why I'm doing this. I need to get faster. It's a life or death situation. By the rate of this, I'm going to be the same. What? I mean, like, what else can I do to improve my Geonor? I don't know. Ugh, stop doing that.
You are hunted.
Oh, so close. Oh!
Tooth and claw. Tortured under the moon.
You gotta be joking with these things as well. No!
No tales were told.
Damn it.
None knew.
You want to time it so that you haven't got that red thing coming down whilst you're in that. Oh, not again. Mind you, though, at least it's not with the
The eternal impure.
the red things.
With bloodlust empowered. Our Ezreal endured. But soon all were devoured. In unending war. Death waited at the door. Then hour by hour.
Ah!
Men fell as summer soured.
Oh! This is pitiful. This speedrunning malarkey, Jimmy, is stressful. I feel like I've, you know, aged 5 years in the past week. 2 hours, great.
Allow me to clear your mind, if only for a moment.
You're timing yourself with my timer. Cats, I don't need any more pressure. Come on. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. That's very kind of you. I have improved, even though I'm still poop. Yeah. Well, they're also, like, I don't want to be ageist, but I think the older you get, the harder it is to be... to, like, think quickly. No, the dice is 41, is he? Okay, fair enough. Well, I can't use that excuse, can I?
Kill her.
So...
But first,
that's good.
please.
I'm happy with that. Like, in a week, I've gone from, like, 3 hours to 1.5 minutes. And I know I missed loads of stuff, though. And I could get that down because I was dithering in the
to Clearfell to make our
town.
preparations.